Dr. Albert Wesker is, or was, the main villain of the Resident Evil video game series.
Only one truly capable of being a god deserves that right.
He was an accomplished virologist notorious for his work with groups affiliated with the bioweapons black market. However, his history of how he became linked with Umbrella and progressed to supervillainy is obscured with random notes, lines of dialogue and clues littered throughout the Resident Evil series. This video will cover Wesker's early life, his Umbrella career and more as we uncover the history of Albert Wesker. Welcome to Jam Punch's Resident Evil Wiki Fandom Read-Through. My name is George.
Since when have they been slipping you a paycheck?
I think you're a bit confused. I've always been with Umbrella. And stars were umbrellas. No, rather, my little piggies.
Originally one of the test subjects in Project W, who specialised in biotechnology and bioengineering, Wesker was an elite perfectionist individual of absolute coldness. As a senior researcher linked to the T-Virus project as early as 1978, he bore witness to and at times shaped Umbrella's BOW research. He officially left the company soon after a stall in the Tyrant project and began work as a spy, leading to a career in the United States Army and eventually with STARS as its captain.
The summation of Umbrella on one disk. This should come in handy.
Wesker ultimately chose to betray Umbrella and work with other groups to steal its research data, benefiting from a mutation brought on by a prototype virus that gave him superhuman powers.
Ouroboros will be released into the atmosphere, ensuring complete global saturation.
This made him, in his self-assertion, believe that he was chosen to achieve the ultimate goal of causing the mass extinction of humanity in favour of evolution of the species. So what about Wesker's early life? Taken from his parents at a young age by agents of Dr. Oswald E. Spencer, he was raised in one of perhaps several homes funded by the Spencer Foundation.
The new superior breed of humans, given birth by the progenitor virus. The Wesker children were entrusted with endless potential.
This was to serve as the first stage of a eugenics project, which sought to raise a group of like-minded, gifted intellectuals who could be infected with a mutant progenitor virus strain and entrusted with its superhuman effects. The children, all named Wesker after the project leader, were raised to share Spencer's values, harbouring particular disdain for war and pestilence, as Spencer did, believing humans to be an evolutionary dead end and in need of order, deliverance, and rebirth. Albert Wesker, the one that we know, stood out against the other Weskers for his absolute ambition in these aspects.
Time to die, Doctor.
Given the finest education money could buy, he made his way into university education at a young age and graduated with a doctorate in virology at the age of 17. His Umbrella career. This is the main formation of him turning into basically a supervillain. Having been headhunted by the Spencer Foundation for his promising grades, Albert Wesker was hired by Umbrella Pharmaceuticals in 1977. With the intent on indoctrinating him and other child prodigies, he was given a place at a company-run boarding school, the Umbrella Executive Training Center, with a lesson program built to indoctrinate these children with the aggressive and inhuman values required to advance Umbrella's viral weapons research.
Attention! This is Dr. Marcus. Please be silent as we reflect upon our company motto. Obedience breeds discipline. Discipline breeds unity. Unity breeds power. Power is life.
The class of 1978 was criticised by the deputy director for being lacklustre, with the exception of Wesker and the 16-year-old Dr. William Birkin, who showed a combination of talent and a ruthless character that would do well for the company. Dr. James Marcus, one of the co-founders of Umbrella Pharmaceuticals and the director of the facility, took great interest in Wesker and Birkin. Following a series of company scandals that were covered up, the training school was closed at the end of the year, with the two students being immediately offered jobs and transferred to the nearby Arkley laboratory as senior researchers, secretly as a reward for stealing a sample of Marcus's completed T-virus strain. Wesker and the T-virus. Wesker's involvement in the T-virus project began immediately after his assignment to Arkley Laboratory began. The two were successful in splicing genes from Ebola onto the stolen T-virus strain, creating an altered virus that was better able to bypass the human immune system, increasing the chances of humans surviving infection and becoming zombies. This rejection of Spencer's idea of T-virus being used specifically for killing paved the way for a wide array of future research. Umbrella began pressuring the duo to come up with newer research. At some point in 1988, Dr. Spencer ordered that Dr. Marcus be assassinated and his body dumped away. Both Arkley researchers attended the assassination to immediately recover 10 years of research data, which he had kept for himself. The Tyrant project, meanwhile, represented the next step in T-virus weaponry.
The ultimate life form. Tyrant.
Wesker, you've become senile.
Wesker and the Nemesis project. As a workaround to generating this new T-virus strain, Wesker and Birkin were able to get a favour from Dr. Spencer to obtain an intelligent BOW parasite engineered by Umbrella Europe. The parasite, dubbed Nemesis Alpha, could solve the problem by hijacking a BOW's body and following complex orders from trainers. The parasite was inserted into the body of a mutant human test subject, Lisa Trevor, to observe its reactions.
The end has come. Be a good girl and stay dead this time.
When the parasite was killed by Trevor's immune system, this led to the discovery of the Golgotha virus and Dr. Birkin's transfer away from the facility to Nest. Wesker also decided to leave the laboratory behind, confused about Dr. Spencer's motives in approving and funding Golgotha, as it was already seen as worthless for bioweapons development. He took up employment with their intelligence bureau to find answers. Wesker's new employment. Over the course of the 1990s, Wesker was able to gain new employment with other groups by officially being an ex-Umbrella employee.
You have no idea how much I hate you. You destroyed my plans, so now I've sold my soul to a new organization.
From around 1991, he served with the US Army, having been scouted for his usefulness in their own illegal bioweapons projects. Around this time, Wesker entered into a relationship with a Serbian woman immigrant from Edonia whose last name was Muller, but lost interest soon after, unaware she was pregnant with his child, who later grew up to be Jake from Resident Evil 6. Following his army career, Wesker was reassigned by Umbrella in 1996 to serve in STARS, a private-funded police special forces unit in Racoon City. The Special Tactics and Rescue Service was effectively Umbrella's private army. He was made captain of the Alpha Team and given seniority over Captain Enrico Marini. The Racoon City outbreak. The spring and summer of 1998 saw considerable upset to Umbrella in Racoon City. The new T-virus strain infected a number of staff at the Artley laboratory in May, prompting a quarantine of the staff while its guards made preparations to shoot all escapees. Doctors Wesker and Birkin personally visited the lab shortly after the alarm was raised to evacuate the cloned embryos of the T-002 Tyrant, one of Umbrella's most important assets.
So, the time has come at last.
What are you going to do?
I will simply say goodbye to Umbrella. The biological weapon utilizing the T-virus has almost been completed. Our only remaining task is to acquire combat data.
Escaped Cerberus BOWs did however escape their cages and begin killing and attacking civilians in Racoon Forest, with infected survivors going on to kill others. By July, the number of killings had surpassed 20 in what the RPD theorized to be the work of a cult, but were unable to find suspects, so, after press backlash, assigned the case to STARS.
The T-virus is near completion and only needs test data. That is why STARS is in place. I will bring them into the mansion.
No longer able to manage the situation from within, Umbrella HQ produced the X-Day plans, giving Wesker a series of tasks to perform during the mission. And so, this leads on to Resident Evil 0 and Resident Evil 1. Thank you for watching that, everybody. If you enjoyed this Resident Evil wiki fandom read-through, then please suggest down below what you'd like me to cover next. My name is George, this is Jump Punch, and I will see you next week.